We are just days away from the 2021 NFL draft, and it is exciting times here for us at SB Nation because all these questions are going to be answered finally. It's going to be an incredible draft, and there's so many questions at the top of the draft, and we are very privileged and excited to be talking to a man who could be one of the top 3 picks in the draft, and that is Trey Lance. Good morning, Trey. What is up?
Good morning. Thank you guys so much for having me. Looking forward to it.
So, okay, you went to North Dakota State, and I happen to host a Niners Nation podcast with somebody that lived in North Dakota. And he told me to ask you, when you go to a restaurant and you get French fries, and we start with the hard-hitting questions here, are you dipping the French fries in ketchup or are you dipping them in ranch?
Ranch. I'm a ranch guy.
A ranch guy. Were you a ranch guy before you went to North Dakota State?
Probably not. No. But don't knock it till you try it. I will say that.
Man, I'm stunned here that you're going like, you know that ketchup exists, right? Like you've had ketchup.
I mean, like ranch on pizza too, right?
What?
Oh my goodness, who is this kid? Where do we find him? Trey, I'm not gonna lie, you just went down my draft board a little bit with that answer. So let's say you do go out with a team, an NFL team takes you out. What would be your order as we follow up with another hard-hitting question?
I'm usually, depending on where we're at, I'm thinking like some type of, maybe like a salad, like a chicken salad or like a pasta. Definitely going to stay away from the French fries.
All right.
We're getting warmer.
That's pretty good. I guess you're back up the draft board a couple of spots. Now, look, by Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, you're going to know where you're living. You're going to know who your teammates are. I imagine the night before the draft, it's going to be tough to get some sleep because there's going to be a lot going on in your life. But I know that you're going to try to combat that a little bit with the sleep number bed. So how does the pre-draft jitters work against the sleep number?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to be partnered with Sleep Number. For me, it's a perfect partnership because I've always been big on my sleep and my recovery. And definitely, my Sleep IQ store on the app for my Sleep Number 360 smart bed is awesome. It's huge for me, and I think it's going to be a game changer in the future. I know it is, just because I can track my sleep, track my recovery, and make sure that I'm, on track to be set up for success for game day or whenever that big day is.
Okay, I heard you had a conversation with Dak Prescott, and you told Dak Prescott that your bedtime was 8 o'clock up until you could drive. Are you telling me that your freshman year of high school, you were not awake for halftime of Monday Night Football?
See, it might have been until maybe my freshman year, just because of sports. That was really the big reason. But like as far as like my parents taking my phone at night, so I'm not on it, staying up all night. Like, yeah, that was probably until I could drive.
Trey, do you think you're going to sleep the night before the draft? Speaking of sleep number, like how do you think, are you going to be so revved up that you're going to be amped up, not going to be able to sleep, or how's that going to go?
Man, I'm going to be super excited, obviously, the night before. But at the same time, man, whether it's my pillows from Sleep Number or my bed, like as soon as I hit my bed, I'm usually knocked out pretty quick. It's just unbelievably comfortable. So I don't worry about it too much. But I'm definitely, like you said, I'm going to be wired up and excited for Thursday.
Now, I'm sure you're ready for this to be over because it's a long process for us just covering the draft. It's got to be a long process for you. What is the most frustrating thing you've heard about yourself in this whole process?
I don't really take it to heart too often. So like I hear obviously the FCS level, the 17 games, the being 20 years old is a big one as well. I mean, those are things that I can't control. So, I mean, I don't worry about them too much. Obviously, it's just another thing that I kind of add to the list, add another chip on my shoulder, another person to prove wrong, whatever it is. But I'm just looking forward to it. Like you said, at this point, it's been a long process, but, it's coming to an end now. I'm looking forward to, like you said, having teammates again, having an organization that wants me.
As far as feedback goes from the NFL, what are some of the things that they've told you that you could improve on as a player?
Accuracy, being more aggressive with the football, just playing more games, as everyone knows, playing 17 games not a whole lot, and I understand that. But I also, wouldn't be in a position if I didn't believe in myself, and if my people around me and my team didn't believe in me as well.
So when I watch you, it seems like the accuracy, the playing, the throwing the ball to people, being aggressive, that will come just by playing more. It seems like you'll be able to figure out what you need to do. You'll be able to figure out, the speed of the NFL, all of that. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't have made this decision if I didn't think I was going to be successful doing it, and this wasn't the best, opportunity and situation for me to be in. So yeah, the last 6-7 months, me not having a season was a blessing and a curse. Learned a ton, got to meet a ton of people, and got to throw a lot, and be critiqued on just about everything, more than I thought was possible. But it's a good thing, and that's what I love. And this is what I signed up for, so obviously that's what I love to do.
One of the people you've gotten the chance to meet and work with is John Beck, who has worked with a lot of guys. I think he was working with Justin Fields as well. What are some of the things that John Beck taught you in this process?
We focus a lot on, similar things. We focus a lot on my lower body when I was out there with John in California, and getting my lower body going. And really, my biggest thing was I wasn't using my lower body as much as I could. So it's just getting the most out of my throws and getting the most out of my ability. So that was the biggest thing that we focused on with John. Also got to watch a ton of tape, whether it's my tape or NFL tape, and learned a ton from him. Obviously he played the position at a really high level. So he's a person that's super mindful and understands the game and understands the position.
Were you surprised when you were asked to go work with Beck? And was there any resistance, after building a relationship after having worked with Quincy Avery?
Yeah, Quincy understood the situation. It really wasn't exactly about that. I think people didn't realize Carson was going to be out there, as well as Easton Stick, who was the quarterback who lives out there. So it's kind of an opportunity to work out with those guys. I got to throw with Easton, got to throw with Carson, got to sit down with Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, Josh Allen, got to throw with Gardner, got to watch Jared Goff throw. It was me about being able to be out there, and I know how many guys John and Adam and Taylor work with. So me being able to be out there was super exciting for me, and being able to compare myself and compete with those guys on the field, as well as obviously, like I said, meet with those guys in the meeting room and learn as much as I possibly can. So for me, it was about learning, and getting better. And Quincy understands the situation. We're still, real close, obviously, and we'll continue to work together in the future. My biggest thing is I want to learn as much as I possibly can, and different quarterback coaches and trainers, teach different things, or maybe just the same things in different ways. So I'm going to continue to do everything I can to learn as much as I possibly can.
Did you talk to those guys, maybe specifically Carson, about what it's going to be like your rookie year, making the jump from NDSU to the NFL?
Yeah, I've talked to him a ton, and I talked to him probably more about it before I made my decision, because I wanted all the information. I wanted blunt feedback. If they didn't think I was ready for this jump or whatever it was, I trusted they would have said that, or they would say that. So yeah, Carson's biggest advice is just stay true to who I am, and I think that holds true in anything you do. And obviously the type of person Carson is, the type of competitor, him playing as well as he did his rookie year, and now super excited for him, obviously, in his next step in Indy. He's the type of person that obviously I want to be like. He's a role model to me, and his biggest thing he says to me now is he can't wait to compete against me. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
It has to be invaluable to have that kind of resource in Carson Wentz, who went early, who went to North Dakota State, and be able to lean on him for that type of information. So speaking of quarterbacks who went early, you are going to go early. Have you received any sort of draft day promises like, hey, if you're there, we're going to take you? And my follow-up to that would be, everybody ever says, I don't care where I play. That's not true. Everybody wants a team. Who do you want to play for, Trey Lance?
My biggest thing is going into a good situation. I don't really have anything in mind, just a good situation, an organization that wants me. And at the end of the day, obviously the team that picks me is going to be the team that wants me. So I'm super excited for that, just to have teammates again, like you guys mentioned early, and there really aren't any bad situations, in the position I'm in at this point. So it's just for me, just learning about getting to an organization, learning as much as I possibly can, and competing. And like you said, just about Carson, yeah, he's one of those people that I would lean on for as long as I'm, playing football, or just as long as I'm, a human being. He's just a great person to look up to.
I could be biased because, like I said, I host the Niners Nation podcast, but I'm going to point out there are some situations that are a little better than others. If you happen to go number 3, you'd be coming into a roster that was pretty damn good, that was just in the Super Bowl. You'd be coached by Kyle Shanahan. Do you think it's possible for a team with a rookie quarterback to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Carson's a great example, again, of how well he played his rookie year. Like I said, my biggest thing is coming in first and earning respect of my teammates and everyone in the organization, and learning as much as I possibly can. And at that point, whatever my role is for week 1, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. Obviously, I'm going to compete for the spot. I signed up for this because I want to play football. That's what I love to do, so I'm looking forward to it.
So you've mentioned, Carson, Easton. Throughout this draft process, have you made any other friends with some of the prospects that will be drafted this year? Have you become close with any other guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty close with Justin and Zach, and they're both great dudes, great people. And man, I'm rooting for all these guys. But I've had the opportunity to spend a lot more time with Justin and Zach, and I just know the type of people they are, the type of competitors. I want the best for everyone in this draft class. I want this draft class to be really, really special. And I think it can be just with the amount of talented guys and hardworking guys that we have in it. So I'm rooting for those guys, quarterback from top to bottom, everyone. But those two specifically are the guys that I've gotten to know throughout this process.
So you strike me as a pretty nice guy, but sometimes when you play quarterback in the NFL, you can't always be the nice guy. If you are whoever you're playing for, you run a play, maybe it's an incomplete pass, and one of your receivers comes back and is like, Trey, damn it, man, I was open. You got to get me the ball. What's your response to that?
I think everything starts with a mutual level of respect, and I'm not going to be on the field if my teammates don't have that level of respect for me, and vice versa. Handling that situation, is different, obviously, depending on the guy. But I'm going to obviously get to know my teammates first and foremost and earn that respect before I get on the field, obviously. So I guess, like you said, it depends on the person. But if they were wrong, they were wrong. If they were right, they were right. They probably weren't lying if they were saying that. But obviously, like I said, everything starts with that mutual level of respect.
Trey, I don't want you to take offense to this, but I don't think you're a nice guy because I've seen you run over guys that are much, much bigger than you, and no nice guy would do that. Speaking of running, we did not get to see you run the 40. How have you been training? Like, what have your times been?
When I was training my 40 times, I think we're pretty consistent around 4 or 5 1 laser. That was pretty consistent throughout my training pre-draft, before my first pro day. Decided not to run my 40 or do my testing. Just wanted to focus on throwing. Wanted to focus on, me not having senior receivers at North Dakota State. Focused on getting my timing and everything down for my pro day with those receivers that I had never thrown to before. And I think we did a great job with it. Had a ton of fun. And obviously, I think it worked out for the best.
If you, Justin, and Zach ran a 40-yard dash, who's winning that race?
I don't know. We'd have to wait and see. I don't know. I've never ran with those guys specifically. I saw Justin's 40 though. Justin can go without a doubt. He's special for sure. Has super special abilities, and like I said, man, the type of people those guys are. I want them. I know they're going to be successful for a really long time.
Trey, you've seen my background. I got Nipsey. I got Marley. Who is your walkout song? Like, who would you walk out to?
So my walkout song on draft day is Sold Out Dates. Gunna.
Sold Out.
Ton of Polo G, ton of Baby, ton of man. I've been listening to Juice WRLD, big Chicago rapper guy. That's about as close as I get being from Minnesota.
Trey Lance, thank you very much for the time. Good luck. Try to enjoy the rest of this process. Hopefully by now all the hard work is done and you can just relax and reap the benefits. It's going to be a great night for you on Thursday. Thanks for the time. Thanks to Sleep Number for hooking us up with you, and congratulations. And hopefully you wind up in a 49ers jersey.
Yeah. Hopefully we're talking to you on Thursday.
Absolutely. That's the plan. Appreciate you guys.
Take care, man.